Hey everyone, welcome to the episode 47. I said the episode 47, it should just be episode 47. My name's Phil.
I'm Chris.
And today is a very special episode.
Podcast games, I guess we're calling them?
I think we're calling them podcast games.
Yeah, so it is games that we played here on the podcast. We got a couple of new games. In the past, we sort of scrapped trivia because that's totally reliant on the audience giving us information. This week, we did not do the back cover game. But yeah, like always, we finish off the episode with three-word pitch.
Yep.
So if you're around any small children, probably put your earbuds on because the language does get a little bit salty.
Salty language warning.
Yep. And as the last moment, the games we're still playing this month, Escapist and Katamari. You have one less week to play them from last time you heard this. So either get one, get both, don't get either, but then don't get mad if we spoil the amazing plots to both of them.
Yep, don't get mad, get even.
Get even, yep. Rate and review us on iTunes. This is Funny More Podcast. You know the drill.
Bye, guys. Bloop, 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 bloop. That was me being Phil.
Good one. Starting to look for a new job.
Right.
Done. I haven't quit.
Did you find a new job or?
No, I haven't.
Or you're just done with the resume?
No. I'm done.
Oh, you're done with the last job. Okay, I gotcha.
I'm like mentally cashed out.
Over it.
I'm like working now. It's just like
going through the motions.
It's a formality.
Yeah.
So I wake up, I plug in the computer, I stare blankly at the screen for hours just listening to whatever the hell I'm listening to.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going out of my way to get distracted. It's like, oh shit, what's that cat looking at?
Right?
Outside. That's
funny.
For 15
the
minutes.
Cat's distracted by something. You're distracted by the cat being distracted.
It's like I need to lose. I need to get out of there.
Yeah.
So that's what this weekend's going to be all about.
Well, if you probably just wait a couple more weeks, I'm sure this podcast is going to blow up where it can be our full-time job.
Yeah.
Could you imagine your job just being a podcaster?
Be great.
Well, yeah. I mean, it means that we'd have to keep doing this.
It's fine. If this was
but you
my
can't
job,
retire, though. You can't retire.
I don't care.
Okay.
If literally we spend
6
hours
days playing video games and 1 day talking about them, that would be great.
We could even do it twice a week. If this was a full-time job.
Yeah.
Not now.
Yeah.
Like, I could do it. Play games. I'll play new games. I don't fucking care.
What? That's what's going to take for you to play new games?
Yes. This would have to be a paying gig.
Yeah. You could buy like all the new consoles. You could have one of everything and just play all the different games.
I'd have 8 hours a day, at least, where I can play any game and not have to worry about sharing TV or paying attention to anything but a video game. It wouldn't have to be like, well, we gotta worry about dinner. What are we gonna watch for dinner? No.
And you're like, no, I gotta play Mass Effect. It's my job.
Yeah, it's like, I need to beat this game before next podcast.
Yeah.
I got 3 days to do it. Whatever.
Right. We can do a lot of fun more segments, too.
Segments?
Yeah.
We could Twitch constantly.
All the time. Like, once a day we could Twitch.
I could Twitch once a day.
Yeah.
It would be like my morning routine.
I would have to buy a house next to you, though, and so we could do all this stuff all the time then. We could just constantly play video games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be like, I gotta go in the office today and just walk next door and play video games with you.
I can already think of segments.
Yeah. I got segments out my butthole, but we never had the time and the resources to do them.
Yeah, let me do like just retro game corner.
Yeah.
That'd be me all over.
I wanted to do drunk gaming for a while.
Wednesday afternoon, just hammered.
Right.
Doing your Rock Band song at the start and at the end to see how poorly you're playing Say It Ain't So.
Exactly, and between there we do everything from like brain games to other stuff.
Just nothing, like only intellectual games.
Yeah, exactly.
Not just like, hey, I'm drunk, let's play Call of Duty. Like, no, like, yeah, you play like brain games.
Right.
Drunk, you play like really hard, you play Portal.
Right.
You're trying to figure out, like, where do I shoot it?
Right, and every time you complete a task, you have to take a drink or do a shot, and at time increments, too. you have to do certain drinks.
True story.
Yeah.
When I lived at my parents' house, but I was at home from college.
Yeah.
So before I got my own place, there's a game called Rocket Riot for 360, arcade game. My parents would go out of town and have friends come over.
Yeah.
Play Rocket Riot. We're drinking Rocket Riot. Survival mode, you play up to level 100.
Yeah.
After every level, and the first levels fly through.
I thought you were going to say like every death.
Yes.
Yeah.
After every death and every level was a shot.
Yeah.
It was of beer,
Yeah, it's just
not
beer
hard
alcohol.
alcohol.
Yeah, it was like a power hour, but with...
It's a power hour, but
Yeah.
it's faster because the levels don't
Yeah.
take a minute. And when you get to
and
like
it gets
level
harder
30,
every time. Yeah.
you get to level 30, you're dying pretty quickly, and then you're doing a shot.
Yeah.
Let's bring that back. So, if anyone wants to pay us, I don't know.
Or just if you tell enough friends, and this does well enough,
Yeah.
we'll be fine.
And
We can start getting advertisers that actually give us money, not just Jiffy Lube.
which hasn't paid up.
Yeah,
yet.
Neutrogena doesn't work in space, guys.
I mean, I'm not looking for much. 50 a year, I'd be set.
Dollars or 1,000?
1,000.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
I mean,
For
that's
games,
like-
50 games a year.
50 games a year.
Yeah,
Like that's a mid-level salary.
right. That's enough that I wouldn't feel bad about not having another job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It could be my only job.
Right.
I'm not a billionaire.
no,
I'm not pew to pee.
7.4 million last year, or 5 maybe.
I mean,
We're just gonna take a moment to reflect on our life choices and.
hey, I was gonna say good for him. I don't watch his channel. I can't get through a single video of his. I've tried on 2 different occasions. One, a game that I was interested in that he was playing.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
And you were no longer interested in it by the time you had finished.
pretty much.
Yeah.
And then one even before that of just what's the big deal. Like
Yeah.
first I did what's the big deal,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I don't get this. Maybe it's the game. And then one, I was just like, well, okay, this is a game I'd actually like to see somebody play. And then go, nope,
Yep. No, thank you.
no, thank you. Hey, good for him though. I got some news for you, Chris.
Oh, you do?
Jeff Goldblum is now in the new Call of Duty Zombie mode.
Thank God.
How do you feel?
Finally, I mean, first there was, we got Kevin Spacey in the normal mode.
Yeah.
Then what is he doing? Is it him? Like they did for who did they put in there?
They did a bunch of people where they put like
George Romero was in it.
Danny Trejo and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where they did, I don't know.
Is it his likeness and his voice, or is it
It's
he like
definitely-
the Snoop Dogg announcer?
I think it's likeness and voice. While I can't pull up the full article, it was just announced that Jeff Goldblum in the new Call of Duty Zombies.
I think that might tip the scales, and I'd finally go and buy a Call of Duty.
Sure.
Haven't done it in a long time.
Last one I have, Modern Warfare 2.
I have Modern Warfare 3 still sealed in the package. I got it for Christmas a couple years ago. Never played it.
Yeah. Back when there was a time when there was this thing called 40 quarters.
Never heard of it.
I thought, like, hey, I'll eventually buy the Call of Duties
Yeah.
when they're cheap. Never got around to even buying them. I bought games like Open Season first.
Well, of course, because you're broken.
Yeah. Yeah, because that would have been a better... Like, that would have been... It's a 1-to-1.
Yeah.
I probably had more enjoyment playing Open Season and doing the rafting out of the outhouse
Yeah.
than spending, like, even a minute online playing Call of Duty.
Yeah, or you could, play like a BioShock or something, or a Batman.
That never came up.
Yeah.
Never came up.
So that was your news. Any other things you wanted to talk about before we jump into our games?
You had some stuff.
I just one little thing. There was one game that I saw that I want to talk about real quick called No Time to Explain. It's a game that came out on Steam, I think, back in 2011. It was first based on a Flash game, then a Kickstarter, and then whatever. And it's just very basic cartoon sort of thing, but the voice acting is really funny. You start off, you're just a little guy in a house. This guy that looks like you but older pops in and says, I'm you from the future, no time to explain. And then he gets grabbed by a giant crab creature and pulled away, and you have to chase him down. So it's like a it's a platformer, but it's all based on like time and speed and everything. So you chase down the bad guy, and then at the end of the level, you like fight a boss and stuff. Haven't seen much for him. There's also multiplayer, which I think is just sort of like race to the end of the level. If you get left behind, you die sort of situation. But that looked crazy and hectic and fun. They said they've added a bunch of new characters and designs and levels and all this other stuff for the Xbox version. There is currently a demo that is out for it. So if you're an achievement hunter, just to beware that you can get achievements in the demo. So you don't have to pay for anything. So if you're all about total score, this is something I would say play it. If you're about completion scores, I would say stay away from it unless if you're planning on buying it, because just for starting the game, you get an achievement.
Nice.
There's no way to avoid getting an achievement once you start this game.
That is probably deliberate. Very deliberate.
Yeah, there's only, I think, 10 achievements for this entire game. And the other one, there's a new button they added that all it does is make you dance. You can complete the entire game while dancing. You can complete an entire level. There's an achievement called Haters Gonna Hate, where you have to just complete an entire level and beat a boss while dancing the entire time, which is fantastic. All the other achievements seem fun and crazy. This game has been out for a while, so you may be familiar with it. I had never heard of it until I saw the trailer.
It's the first time hearing of it.
Yep, so that could be fun. It's $15 right now. Definitely not going to pay $15 for this game.
Sounds expensive for what you're describing.
I would
picture it
$5,
as
$6.
Do you remember the indie game that I got, like Super Wagon Adventure?
Yeah,
that's what you're describing. Kind of makes me think of.
It has higher production values than that, but I think it's the same amount of work was put into it. Other than the fact that, like I said, the voice acting is really funny. The guy seems really funny. He's constantly saying funny things. But no, $15, no.
Yeah.
Like I said, maybe $5. Hopefully, it'll be a free game. I think this might actually be a waste though on a free game because I don't know if it would be enough for that. But yeah, so just if you're gonna play the demo, either play on another separate account like I do, or
don't care about achievements.
Yeah, don't care about achievements.
You also, that wasn't the news that I thought you were going to talk about.
What was I going to talk about?
You were going to ask me, and it sounds weird if I say...
Oh, you want me to set up that again?
No, you don't have to set up. Well, I've already ruined it with the setup.
Well, you had to say, hey, I started playing Mass Effect 3 again.
Hey, I started playing Mass Effect 3 again, but I didn't have much to talk about.
Right.
Because I've already done my Mass Effect 3 talks.
And my question to you would be, after hearing that for the first time... What is it going to take?
This is a great summary of conversations we have.
So organic. We do improv. Two guys around the city. If you're interested.
Yeah.
But anyways,
check out Second City. You'll see us.
What's it going to take for you to buy Mass Effect 4?
Realistically, it would have to. I wouldn't get day one, no matter what. Yeah. It would have to come out, and 10
out of 10.
It would. It would have to be like reviews that are like, "Hey, this is a once in a kind. Once in a console cycle. I've almost had a quarter of beer, so I'm pretty drunk.
Yeah, pretty wasted. Yeah. Also, I put something in there.
I kind of feel it.
Yeah.
It would have to, but it'd have to get like the reviews that are like, this is a one of a kind game.
Yeah.
This is a can't miss. This is the best Mass Effect of the series.
Yeah, blows all the other ones out of the water. It's better than Mass Effect 2 plus Mass Effect 1.
And all those reviews I'd still have to then like watch a video of the boring stuff that I'm interested in that they say that's like returned to form.
Yeah.
Like I want to see
somebody explore a planet.
I want to see somebody explore a planet that's not a mission.
Yeah.
I need to see somebody level up. I need to see like, you know, what kind of abilities we're talking here. Is it down to like the same 8 stats? Is it expand to 20?
Yeah.
You know, like I want to see the small details, and then I decide. If it just gets like 8s out of 10, like this is great. You loved Mass Effect, you'll love this.
If they're like, hey, better than Mass Effect 3.
Not enough.
Not enough? Well, it's interesting that you said that because I would have expected...
you know what game's better than Mass Effect 3?
All of them?
Yes.
Yeah. Not all other games. Oh, okay.
Turok.
I meant Mass Effect 1 and 2.
Oh, better than Mass Effect 1 and 2?
Yeah.
That would get me to look closely at it.
Yeah.
But people also think Mass Effect 3 is better than 1 and 2.
Well, some people, yeah, but they're stupid people.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you said that because based on previous conversations I've had with you, I thought you were going to say that you wouldn't buy it no matter what. You've already decided that you aren't going to buy it.
Right now, going in,
you have no interest in it. Yeah,
they would have to do a lot to convince me.
Right. I don't think you're like, no, I will never play this again, no matter what.
Yeah.
Another game is you had asked me this question before about whether or not playing Tales from the Borderlands makes me want to play Borderlands.
Yeah.
It's Ultimate Game Sale's going on right now.
Starting to creep into you.
And it's like I can get the Handsome Jacks collection or whatever, which is like both Tales from the
2?
it's Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel. So you had not played either of these games. Supposedly
that'd be 2 games.
Supposedly these 2 games are both way better than the first game.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Like
but it's
just
it's the deal that's getting me. It's the deal.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know what? It would probably be a game more up your alley than my alley. And the reason I say that is because
it's a shooter and
it's a first-person shooter, which you like more than I like. And second, it's a loot game. It's about finding cool weapons. That's kind of more Destiny.
Yeah, right.
You know, I mean, like I can't obviously speak for the missions or the story.
I still would not play Borderlands 1, but I would consider because supposedly 2 is like game of the year, great game.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that. I can't dispute them because I've never played 2.
Right.
I can just say that 1 was so awful in my mind. And granted, everyone yells at me and they're just like, no, 1 was bad for you because you didn't play it with anyone.
Yeah.
And I did play it with someone for some of it. Not the whole game. Drop in, drop out. Did not make it better. And what's weird, I know we got a big full slate, but like the thing like that I hated so much about Borderlands is a thing that I love in like Fallout and like Borderlands.
So
it wasn't a series of mini quests.
It wasn't the elements; it was the implementation of them.
Yes, it's like I love going on little tangent mini quests to get new loot and stuff like that. I love that in like a Fallout and a Skyrim.
Yeah,
and it's not a main story. I hated it so much in Borderlands. I'm like, another quest? Fuck this. Like, how do we finish this game already?
Yeah.
And I think that's because there is no story element at all tying anything to anything. Like in
supposedly
Fallout,
that's how the second and third game
supposedly
changed.
It's better.
Yeah.
But like in Fallout, even if it's just like, hey, this guy's doing me wrong, blah, 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 like, go rob his house, then there's like something that's tangible that I'm just like, I'm
even
helping
if it's
out this person for this reason. In Borderlands 1, it was just like, go get this gun. And then it's like, why?
I already have a gun.
I have 100 guns.
Yeah.
Why is this a quest? And it's like, thanks, that'll help me keep away the varmint. Like, oh my god, I'd like to murder everyone who made that game.
Yeah. Also, Saints Row 4, and by the time this comes out, the sale will be over. But just for you and I,
sure.
Yeah, Saints Row 4 and Get Out of Hell are both like $10 each right now, and it's like, ugh. If I had somebody else to play with, I would get them.
Is 4 co-op too?
4 is 100% co-op.
Does it have? Here's what my breakdown would be.
Yeah.
Does 4 Get Out of Hell? I'm saying no. In general, I've heard nothing but terrible things.
Right, but if I can, complete the game in like 5-10 hours,
sure,
just for achievements, just to have fun.
If 4 had 0 multiplayer achievements,
I don't think it does it?
I'd get it.
I think they got rid of multiplayer.
I'd say the same for 3. I haven't looked into it.
I haven't. Supposedly 3 is a lot of fun.
If none of the, if there's no, like, even though we love playing co-op, there's no co-op achievements and there's no competitive achievements, and it's just like do crazy stuff and beat the story.
Yeah,
I'd get it because I can have enough fun with that game that if that's the only thing on my plate, I'm okay with. I can put it down. I can pick it up later.
Yeah.
The thing that's killing me with that killed me with 1 was the competitive because it's so long, and the thing that's killing me with 2 is that if for whatever reason me and you didn't play together, I would have had to beat it by myself, find a random person, beat it with them, and now boost.
I'd rather play Saints Row 3 with you on the 360, I think, than just playing 4 by myself. Because I don't love them enough to, like...
No, I'm just saying, like, sale-wise, for 4, I'm saying, like, if it's $10 and you're like, yeah, I'll get these for achievement points, like, I would pull the trigger if you're just like, okay, there's nothing, like, I can do this by myself, and I don't have to worry about, like, ever entering a pimp brawl challenge online.
Also, for you, Tales from the Borderland, half off, 60% off, I think. So I think it's like $11 for the entire season.
A little pricey.
It's like $2 an episode.
Pricey. Yeah.
So, if you want to get in on that Tales from the Borderland talk.
I mean, we'll see.
I mean, best case scenario for me is you would hate it. or best case scenario for podcast
is I hate it.
Is you hate it, so we have something to debate on the podcast. Or for you love it or you like it, and then you enjoy a fun game.
You know how I feel about enjoying games.
I know. You're totally against it.
I'm against it.
Yeah. Not going to do it.
Yep. I purposely play bad games.
Yep. That makes sense now.
Like once I'm out of bad games, as opposed to start Bioshock,
you're just
gonna
stop playing video games.
I'm either gonna stop playing video games or I gotta buy more bad games.
Yeah, there's always gonna be bad games out there. Don't worry.
For systems that I own, though.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm not just gonna be like,
I'm gonna buy a Jaguar game.
Hey, I'm gonna go get a Sega CD
yeah.
so I can play all those Sega CD games.
Yeah.
That's.
Speaking of, another thing. So Zombie, which was originally called, I guess, Zombie U for the Wii U, is now supposedly coming to PlayStation and Xbox. It's kind of been rumored for a while. It's now, but there's, like, I guess, rating board have given it a seal of approval, which means it's, even though it hasn't been announced, everyone's like 99% sure it's going to come out soon. So I guess the one game that people said was worth playing
on the Wii
U because it was like a hardcore quote unquote game using those mechanics is now available. Will soon be available to everyone.
I think it will be bad,
and it's just stupid because like Zombie U was what it was called before, and now it's called Zombie with no E at the end.
I think that what made that game good, I never played it, can't say,
was the motion controls?
Was the mechanics of like looking at your pad and looking in the inventory. I think if you all of a sudden just give me like a start button and it cuts to that menu.
Well, what if they force you to use like a smartphone or something?
Oh, then it'll be awful. And that'll be a huge mistake.
Even worse?
Yeah. Don't force me to use anything. Especially on a system that does not require it. Yeah. Don't make me set up second screen account on my mobile phone or my tablet just so I can play Zombie.
Yeah.
You either rework the game to make it interesting that I don't need that mechanic, or don't release it.
Yeah.
Like, if that mechanic's so pivotal, don't be like, well, they don't have a tablet, so you have to use your second screen. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably wasn't going to get it anyway, but...
No. All right, well, that was enough padding of the episode. Let's get into the meat.
I don't call that padding.
That was a nice appetizer to this episode. Let's get to the main course.
I could go for an appetizer.
Well, I guess this week we are not going to do back cover game.
Yes.
And for reasons.
I just ran out of back covers.
Yeah.
At least good ones. I can give you 3 shitty ones, but I figured we should.
I'm glad that you told me, hey, I didn't get 3 covers because I hadn't done it yet either. And I was just waiting.
Like, hey, do you want another Halo back cover?
Right. It's not necessarily a bad game, but we didn't have enough games to go through. So if you want to send those in, though, we're always happy to read the user-submitted versions.
I would almost prefer I don't have them on hand, but doing like back covers of like I don't know, NES games or Genesis games.
Yeah.
Because then you got to figure like those are so super vague. Kill this alien, like it'd be tougher to guess.
Right.
But like the 360 games that I had left is either games I know you've never heard of or games that you've heard way too much of.
Well, that's the problem too. Like, hey, it'd be fun to like really do an obscure game, but it's like then you're not going to think of it, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I didn't guess Super Kung Pao Chicken Man.
Yeah.
Which was only released for $2 in one ramen restaurant in Japan.
Yeah. So I don't know, what's the first game you want to play? Do you have any new games? You think of any new games? I have like 1.5 new games. One I explained to you before, which is we just say like a name of a video game.
Halo.
Okay, and then now we try to think of other games to spell out that title. So I will go first. Start with H. I will say Hail to the Chimp. And now you think of a game that starts with an A.
Alone in the Dark.
Okay, and I will say Life is Strange.
And then for O, I will say Orphan Black, the TV show, the game.
No. I will say Ori and the Blind Forest. I won. Woo! No, it's not a competition, so I don't know if that's gonna be fun or not. So we'll play a little bit more. See. There's 2 ways we can play it. So we can do it that way, or we can do it like, okay, I say Halo, and then you use the last letter to start the next game. So O, so I'll say Ori and the Blind Forest, and so T, I will say Turok.
No, I think the first way, Because I think the last way could go on
forever. Yeah.
I think the spelling is more interesting.
Okay.
But then we just say like we can't reuse games.
Yeah.
So if we do Halo and you say Hail to the Chimp, we can't have another game with an H and just keep going to Hail to the Chimp.
Of course, yeah.
So it couldn't just be like whatever.
Well, let's try this new game out. Do you want to...
Yeah.
Yeah. You came up with Halo. I will say...
Hail to the Chimp.
Yeah, Hail to the Chimp. No, I will say Turok. That's going to be a hard one.
Okay. T.
You're taking the T?
If you say the game, then I get the T.
Because you is...
For T... Not using the, because I feel like that would be
That's a cheat.
Cop-out.
Yeah.
I will say Transistor
for
the PlayStation.
That's a shitty game.
One of our games.
This is the game that I feel is going to be the most frustrating for the people to listen to, because they're going to think of 1,000 things. They're going to be shouting at their devices. And they're going to think we're stupid.
Maybe like drink while you think?
That's what I've been doing.
I need 10 more beers.
Yeah. It is hard when you're on the spot like this. It is very hard to think of titles, especially titles that start with U.
Oh boy.
Do you have anything? Ubisoft presents.
I know I have a game. I'm like trying to visualize my shelf.
Okay, yeah, right. If you get stuck, like either of us get stuck, I think the other person can help out. It's like we're just trying to get to the end of the thing. Uncharted.
Boom. Okay. Then R, Red Faction.
Okay. What is it? O?
O. We can't use Ori.
No, Oni. The PlayStation 2 Bungie game.
Okay.
ONI.
Then K, Killzone. We'll keep it in the family.
Yep, nice. Couple of PlayStation games. Was not expecting that.
Yeah. We'll have to mix it up.
Yeah.
Let us take the game Recore. New unannounced.
So it's spelled RECORE, correct?
Yeah, so we have a couple E's to work with.
Yeah, okay, so I'll start out with the R, and I will say Red Dead Redemption.
For E, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's El Shaddai. It's a game like Masters of the Universe. You could look it up somewhere. It's a game.
Yeah.
I'm
just trying to make the audience mad right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do.
You can't think of anything for E?
Well, no, you're on C now.
Oh, did you... Wait, what did you say?
It's called El... It starts
EL.
EL space, and then it's like...
All right.
Shaddai.
All right.
I'll pull it up.
Yeah, I'm sorry, what? I'm on C?
You're on C.
I will say Condemned.
Nice.
Origins.
Okay.
Just getting the full title.
So I get O. Can't use Ori. Can't use Oni.
Yeah, the vowels are going to come into huge play here.
This is a great game for dead air.
Oh,
shit. Why can't I think of a game that like starts with old? Old or one.
Yeah.
Or over.
Over the Hedge?
Over the Hedge is a movie?
No, they made a video game of it.
Okay. It would be R again.
Is it your turn?
Well, technically, I screwed up the O.
Yeah.
So we can say that the R would be on me, and we can say it's Resident Evil.
Okay. And then E?
Yep.
Get all the vowels. Evil Within.
Nice. You can come up with a game name.
We should probably only do this one more time.
It was El Shaddai, Ascension of the Metatron. Just in case anyone was wondering about that awesome E game that I listed.
No one was.
Yeah, I'm glad you did that. That gives less work for our intern, the robot.
Correct.
Yeah.
I did it for a bean dive, and it looks like it's a pretty trippy game.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited to play it never, because that's how games I play work. All right, you have to come up with a game that we spell, and that'll be the last one.
Okay. It's obviously gonna have a bunch of O's in it.
Let's hope so. Open season. Why didn't we name open
What?
season?
We already talked about it. We're idiots. Yep. I'll make Alan Wake.
Oh, okay.
That's gonna be a hard one.
So then I get A. The first A I've already used Alone in the Dark. Alpha Protocol, which is a great RPG game. It really exists.
Yeah. L, I will say Last of Us.
Okay. Another A. Can I list the Aerosmith game? What was it called?
No, are you talking about the Guitar Hero Aerosmith?
No, there was an Aerosmith arcade game, but I won't use it because I can't think of the name of it.
Yeah, I figured we could use all of games, not just
not just
360 games.
For another A, I will use. I thought of another O game, Okami. Okami. You play as a crazy dog. Right. Now I can do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you're on the spot, it's impossible.
Another A. Wow, why vowels are fucking me over right now. Asteroids.
There you go.
Let's go classic.
That's easy. N. Mm-hmm. No time to explain.
W. WWE 14.
I guess we'll allow it.
I mean, or we can do.
No, that's fine. Don't use up all the W's. There's only so many.
Sure. Another A. Well, this is the last time we're doing it.
Yeah, that's true.
This time you finally get it.
I'm saying next time we play this game.
Sure.
I will say, if I were to list my games alphabetically, which I do not, what would be first?
You can't use Alan Wake for Alan Wake.
We never specified in the rules. Old school Air Commander, right?
Yeah, that would work. For K, Kickle Cubicle.
With K's?
Yeah, it starts with a K.
Okay.
Kickle Cubicle. Because he kicks blocks.
Yep.
Cubicles with a C.
Yeah.
It's Kickle and then Cubicle.
Yep. Okay.
It's an NES game.
Right.
You are a fat snowman. You make ice blocks and you solve puzzles.
Okay. I might look into that game.
It's incredible.
Really?
Fun.
Okay, and then E, right? That's where we're at. Enslaved, I believe it was called.
Yeah, Odyssey to the West.
Yep.
Yeah, nice. All right, that was enough of that game.
Yeah.
How much time did that eat up?
Not enough.
What was the other new game?
So, no, that was really it. The two variations on that, and then we're gonna add a variation to the Porcupine's Revenge, aka Pixel Fights.
Yeah.
AKA now Random Situations.
AKA Pixels the movie.
Right? Let's wait until next episode for that one. Did you think of Random Situations?
Yeah, I mean, I thought of some.
We'll get to that. So we're gonna play the game normally first. The way this game works is we have a stack of cards. We shuffle them up, divide them. Wait. Oh man, I had to divide it in which ones we'd use.
Yeah, I got this here. These are the ones we use because it says Go-Go, and I know we used Go-Go.
And then we both throw a name down, and we make an argument for who would win in a fight, a head-to-head fight. Later on, we're going to play a variation on that, and then I'll explain that when we come to it.
I mean, these are pretty shuffled.
Yeah, they're already shuffled, so.
So I'll just split it down what I perceive to be the middle.
All right. Dealing from the top or the bottom?
I'm going top.
Okay, I'll go top two. So we have
Zombie Dog from Resident Evil.
Ooh, versus Lara Croft from Tomb Raider.
Are we just doing fight?
We're just doing fight right now.
Lara Croft. Lara Croft kills plenty of dogs.
Here's the thing: I have to
defend.
You have to defend your zombie dog.
Okay.
The next version is we're gonna choose which one's better of the two.
A zombie dog jumps out of windows. Would surprise.
That's one thing they do is jump through glass constantly.
Jump through glass. Surprise Lara. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Lara Croft has never dealt with zombies that I'm familiar with.
Not head to head, no.
Not head to head or ever.
Or just in her dreams, probably.
Or in her dreams.
I'm assuming she has zombie dreams.
So Lara Croft, let's say, is investigating Umbrella Corporation, or let's say the mansion that the first game is set in. Okay. She doesn't know what to expect, right? She's walking around in her short shorts, her polygonal breasts sticking out in every which way, looking for keys and emblems. Boom! Zombie dog in the window catches her by surprise.
I guess there'd be a lot of windows in these tombs.
A lot of windows? No, she's not in the tomb. She's in the mansion, or she's investigating Umbrella Corporation.
Yeah.
Catches her by surprise. All he's got to do, bite her once, spread the zombie infection. Maybe the zombie dog dies, but his legacy lives on.
So he might have lost the battle, but he wins the war, is what
Yes,
you're saying?
that's what I'm saying.
I will say, just based on previous experience with wildlife, that Lara Croft would be able to just do little flips and jumps and use her dual pistols to
she's
shoot.
caught by
Just
surprise.
like if it was like a jaguar or a, a tiger in older Tomb Raider games.
Sure. I'm not debating that Lara Croft would kill the zombie dog.
She would eventually, is what you're saying. You're saying that he would get the
I'm
surprise
saying
attack.
He only needs that first bite, and then
But
he wins the big battle.
I think zombie dogs, they're
They're
not.
a dime a dozen.
They're not. Yeah, but they're not the old sneak up on your prey sort of thing. They're all about.
Makes it different. You played Resident Evil?
They're just about jumping. As soon as they see you, they attack. They're scared and they attack and they go after you. So if let's say you're investigating underground, honeycomb of Umbrella Corporation,
Sure.
They're going to be behind clear glass. She's going to see them in their own glass tank from miles and miles away. She's going to know that they're
and then she's going to be like,
she's just going to walk by and then they're going to jump through.
They're behind glass. They can't get to me.
Yeah.
And then boom, they do. Game over, Laura.
All right, move on to the next one.
You can draw first.
Okay, this fight is between Mona Sachs from Max Payne
And Kratos, God of War.
Well, obviously she's going to use her feminine wiles.
How come we didn't use that for Lara Croft?
And she's going to seduce him, and she's going to be part of his harem, and so he's never going to attack her. And then one night when he's asleep after an orgy, plenty of lovemaking, he's going to be tired and exhausted. He's finally going to rest his eyes, and she's going to slit his throat.
While I would agree with you that she becomes part of his harem, and has sex with Kratos, I totally agree.
You think it's going to be against her will?
I think Kratos, as a god of war,
not love,
isn't fooled by her feminine wiles.
Bullshit. Have you played those games? He loves the ladies. He loves the ladies.
I know he does. It refills his health. But I'm also saying that in one of his many fits of rage, which I know that he has.
You think he has like rage blackouts?
He has rage blackouts. Yeah. He just wakes up, there's dead bodies over his.
Like a werewolf.
Yeah.
So you're thinking that he's like a werewolf? Like he doesn't know that he's actually a god of war? Like...
I mean, I think I could say it's canon that Kratos is a werewolf.
Yeah.
And with his big, like, blade swingy rope thing,
chain,
I don't know.
blades.
He's got a bunch of shit. She's going to be in the crossfire. Boom.
You think she's going to be like a casualty? Like he's going to attack somebody and she's just going to happen to be in the way?
Because she's just a human. Kratos is used to fighting against other gods, giant behemoths of monsters. Mona Sachs isn't someone who's going to... She's got a mortal bar. Right. Yeah, she's not immortal. Yeah. She's going to get hit once, blade's going to go in her side some weird ass way. She's going to bleed out. Kratos is going to be like, whoops, I'll find another bitch.
Yeah.
Sorry for the language, lady listeners. I'm just saying, Kratos isn't going to give a shit about one lady who used her feminine wiles.
Okay.
Game, set, match.
You, the listeners at home, decide who wins the fight.
Yeah.
And feel free to tweet us if you think one person made a better argument than the other at Not Fun Podcast.
I think this is the best one so far. I have John Madden of the Madden series
versus Cecil Harvey from Final Fantasy IV.
I know you don't play any Final Fantasies,
no,
so it's perfect.
I'm going to say his name is Cecil, right? So he probably likes collecting stamps or butterflies or something.
Yeah, I think most of that game is oddly about collecting butterflies.
Yeah, I think that he's going to be able to slowly walk behind John Madden, and John Madden's going to be such an amorphous blob that he's going to be unable to turn around, and just the exertion that it's going to take him to try to move his thick skull is going to allow him to just suffocate himself under his fat rolls.
You could die two ways. Let John Madden tell you the ways. One,
tell you a story?
Tell you a story. One, John Madden drives a bus. He'll just hit you with the John Madden bus.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, while you're...
Well, if we're allowed to use, accessories, I'm pretty sure Cecil has at least one sword.
That comes with John Madden, a bus. If You say he can't use a bus.
Yeah.
John Man's just going to eat you alive.
Yeah.
Granted, Cecil could probably outrun John.
Outmaneuver, yeah.
But John gets his grubby mitts on you. He'll take a bite right out of your face.
Man, it's happened before. It's happened before, guys. Google it. Yeah.
He used to announce with John until John was hungry.
Then one day, not enough hot dogs in the stadium.
Yep. Pat, God bless his soul.
Yeah.
Took one for the team. John Mann's like a snake. He unhinges his jaw.
Right, just swallows you whole.
Swallows you whole. That's a win.
Oh, so we got Ezio, long name, Italianness, from Assassin's Creed. I think he was from the first 2 Assassin's Creed.
And I have Jack Winard from BioShock.
Ooh.
Jackie Winard. Is that your main character?
That is the character you play as in the original BioShock.
Well, Jack, if I can call him Jack. I think we're on a first name basis.
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty much only on a first name basis with him.
He can inject himself, gain supernatural powers, and
temporarily,
then just take out Ezio.
You're gonna have to be more specific.
Okay. Lightning powers.
Okay.
Injects himself. Ezio's sitting on top of a building, being like, I'm gonna be all stealthy and I'm gonna sneak up in the crowd and slit his throat.
Wait, so that works for dogs but not humans?
And lightning power.
Yeah.
Ezio's fried like an old TV antenna. I rest my case.
Yeah. Well, like how that was your closing statement. Like, you got your thumbs in the suspenders.
Yep.
Let the jury see. I think Ezio
And then
would.
bring in an old antenna.
He's got all his gadgets and everything.
Mm-hmm.
He is perched on top of a ledge somewhere, and
Yep,
Jack's walking around.
This fits with my story.
Jack's walking around in first-person view, worried about things on the ground. And Ezio can jump on him. He can pop out of a haystack that exists in all of societies, whether they're underwater or not.
Yeah.
You gotta have hay somewhere. You gotta have hay somewhere, guys.
It's true. How are you gonna feed all those underwater horses?
Yeah. Seahorses, if you will. You can see that the drinking while thinking of last game has already paid off.
Yeah.
Anyways, he'll just use his hidden blade. You know, he's got
get
smoke pellets. He can use a hidden blade. He doesn't need it. He's going to come up from behind or on top of him. Jack's not even going to ever see him.
Lightning antenna. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
You decide, viewers. Viewers like you.
All right, let's do one or two more.
Okay. I got GLaDOS Portal.
Ooh, from Tommy from Prey. I got his full name here, but I can't pronounce it. Damasi Tawadi.
Ooh, yeah, you gotta get that Tawadi.
Also known as Tommy from Prey.
Yeah, heard you.
Just restating.
GLaDOS.
GLaDOS, whatever you want.
GLaDOS.
I mean, whatever.
Giant robot.
Yep. Sure is.
Has a lot of things at her disposal.
No, just making tests, basically, is all she can do.
Well,
she can comment on what is happening. Is kind of the limit to her powers.
She makes a couple tests.
Yeah.
Tommy can't figure out because she doesn't supply Tommy with a portal gun.
I felt like we've used Tommy before. I felt like we have.
I don't know. Maybe we used another guy that was from the darkness.
Okay.
She learned from her first mistake of giving people the portal gun to solve puzzles.
Right.
If she just removed that aspect,
then she would win.
Yeah, and then she's like, I'm going to keep them in the same test.
So it's not even a test, it's just a death room, is what you're saying.
Pretty much.
How do you get them there, though?
Well,
because
Tommy loves cake.
Tommy's
like every good American.
Tommy's already well versed in portals, anyways, because he uses the crazy alien technology that he has portals in his game already. He goes through portals all the time, right? So he's good at puzzle solving with portals and using them to travel. So no matter what you throw at him in the realm of portals, I think he'd be able to take it. Plus, he can't actually ever die Because when he does, he goes into the spirit realm and uses his... See, like, I feel like it was Tommy versus Cortana. I feel like that happened already.
No, it was... we had another Native American. His name was John Turok, I think.
No. Because I felt like he uses the spirit realm. Like, he can go into the spirit realm.
Maybe. I don't know. I thought we...
Anyways.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, that didn't happen. So, I got... Next fight is Rash from Battletoads.
Nice. I wish I had Pimple, but instead I have Meat Pie from Mortal Kombat.
Even better. You're going to have to first explain your character and then use him.
Yeah, well, Meat Pie is the guy in Mortal Kombat that comes up and says Toasty.
No, Meat Pie is the character you made up while we were playing Mortal Kombat. The big old fat guy. He's basically John Madden, now that I think about it.
Yep,
Yeah.
Okay.
That just, he's... I don't know, it's like you could get into his backstory if you want, but I figured he was both made out of... He was sort of a meat pie himself, and all he ate was meat pies.
Yeah,
like he just ate everything.
He's the big guy with the child on him, right?
Sure, I guess if that's...
I don't remember the story.
No, you're like my favorite character is
sure
Meat
I
Pie.
made it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I make up a lot of dumb shit.
Yeah. I'm really glad you got him though.
Uh-huh.
It's too bad you didn't remember.
Yep. But if he's the guy I think he is,
yeah,
then he just uses the John Madden thing of eating people. And the perfect thing with Rash being a toad is Meat Pie just sees him as frog legs.
He just frog legs, he just sees it as some sort of delicacy.
Yep. He's just like, all I gotta do is get my hands on him.
Yeah.
I wish I could just pull John Madden for all of these.
Yeah.
Make my job way easier.
Yeah. He's the trump card.
He's the
ace in the hole.
Yeah. It's like Cards Against Humanity. He's the AIDS.
Yeah. Yep. Well, Rash, I mean, he's quick. He's got giant feet for some reason. He's an anamorphic toad.
Is he the one with shades?
I don't remember. I remember their name, but I can't differentiate between the three of them.
Rash. Who's the third one?
Shingles? No, I don't know.
Yeah, Shingles had shingles. That was an easy one to figure out.
Blemish? No, I don't remember the third one. That's why I put it down, because I could only remember two of the three.
Sure, okay. I think he's the one with shades.
Yeah, let's say he is. I think he can just outmaneuver and then kick the guy in the face.
Yeah, since I don't remember all of Meat Pie's story, that sounds about right.
Okay. All right, let's go into the new variation of this game. Call it random situations. So before we throw down a character, we are going to throw out a random situation, and then we will decide which character would we rather have in that situation. Sure. So we might both pick the same guy, we might not.
Yes.
But there's not sides to this.
Who would you rather make you dinner? Waluigi from Mario Brothers?
Or Kirk Heinrich from, from the NBA series.
Yes. Right now it's Kirk Heinrich.
Yeah, because you just want to be and speak to Kirk Heinrich. Yeah.
Waluigi, great. Love spaghetti and meatballs.
I'm sure he can make you a great Italian dinner.
Yeah. But Kirk Heinrich would just take me out to dinner.
Yeah, he would. And you could just stare into those eyes all night. And you could
those
just
baby
ask
blues?
him questions about basketball.
I don't even know if he's got blue eyes.
No, I don't think he does.
Yeah. That's a trump card for me. I mean, if I get to pick. And if we were still fighting, Kirk Heinrich all the way. If you played Shaq Fu, he can throw that fire.
Plus, he's got the height. He's like 3 times the height of Waluigi.
Yeah, Waluigi's about the size of a beer can.
Yeah.
All
right. Next situation. Who would you rather be stranded on a desert island with?
Kirk Heinrich.
Yep.
Octodad.
Nice. Or this, I think we already know the answer. Guybrush Threepwood from Monkey Island.
You know what though? I'm gonna say it's a tough battle. We have 2 aquatic.
Exactly.
Characters.
Here's the thing. One guy is already well versed in islands, right?
Yeah.
So he probably could survive for a long time.
Yeah.
But Octodad, you have the possibility of escape.
Yeah. If you can climb on the back of Octodad,
right,
then that is a guaranteed, let's take Octodad, that's an escape route.
Right.
Guybrush, though, he's going to gather items.
But you think that
he's going to combine them in his inventory.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he's going to combine a pirate ship in his inventory, drop it down,
you
now
can
you sail on the 7 seas.
You can make a pirate ship out of combined
No,
items?
you can't. Oh, okay. But if we're entering the world of adventure games.
Okay. Well, I mean, but even Octodad, even if you can't just ride him to safety, he would be great at catching fish and stuff and wildlife just for you to survive for a long time. Plus, you wouldn't need a TV or something. You could just watch him try to pick up something.
Would Octodad capture fish to feed you? Because Octodad, he hates going to the aquarium and seeing his brethren locked behind bars.
Well, he's going to do it. He's still going to do it wearing a human suit. He's still going to pretend like he's a human. He thinks I'll be like, hey, I'll do it so he's not self-conscious. Be like, hey, Octodad, you go fishing while I build a shelter. We're going to go to the other sides of the island. If you happen to be good at fishing, because I don't suspect a thing.
Yeah, you never do.
No. I think this is a hard one. This was a good one.
As much as it pains me, Octodad makes the most sense.
I think so too.
Just the riding him to get out of there. If we're saying I can't ride Octodad, I'm stuck on the desert or the island, then I'm going Guybrush. He's got more tales to tell.
Yeah.
He's gonna you know what? He's got a tale to tell. Octodad can't talk.
That's true.
So, I can listen to blurbs all day. But maybe I want a human.
Also, human genitalia.
Yeah.
Also, he's got that.
Yeah, I don't know if do I need that?
No.
All right.
All right. Okay.
Would you rather have a game of pickup basketball?
Oof.
Ichabod Crane, Wolf Among Us.
Yes. Or Jackie Estacado from The Darkness.
Well,
I think you unshuffle these cards.
Possible. I had a lot of beers.
Yeah.
Do you want the other stack?
I don't know. Maybe we're almost out of cards. Anyways.
Pick up basketball.
Yeah.
I think this is an obvious one. You want Jackie.
Yeah.
He's got 2 little minions. That's like guaranteed alley-oops.
Plus, he's got 2 extra arms. He's got darkness arms.
Mm-hmm.
So you can constantly be, keeping the ball away from people, dribbling behind your back, and just dunking from standing on flat ground.
Yeah. Ichabod, he might have the height, but he's not going to be much of a down-low presence.
No.
And you know what? I just don't know how athletic he is. Okay.
No, yeah, and he's scared of everything. He'll just run away. He's too thin. He doesn't want to defend.
He's awful. Right. He'd never go up against LeBron.
No. Okay, who would you rather have handle trade negotiations?
Trade negotiations.
Yes,
okay.
We got Link from Zelda.
Manuel Calavera from Grim Fandango.
Who?
Trade negotiations. This is kind of a tricky one. One, Link doesn't talk. That could be an issue.
No, he does, just but through text.
And 3DI games.
Yeah.
Philips CDI games.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Manny on this. Because Manny being...
Well, you played it more recently, so I don't remember exactly what his traits are, other than being dead, which makes it harder to deal with the living.
And Latin. Which means he's already got, if I'm making trade negotiations with, let's say, España or Mexico, then I already got a leg up.
All right, Peggy Hill.
He's more personable. In terms of, A, I know that he's not a child.
Yeah.
B, he's used to trading items in his inventory for other items in inventory.
Yeah.
Link, what I will say is everyone likes him, but the problem is he's going to get distracted by so many little fetch quests, helping people return chickens to their roost, and I just don't know if he's a reliable trade negotiations.
All right, if Manny is able to speak more than one language, even if Latin is just part of that, because that has stems a lot of other. It's got the root in most languages.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he could figure it out.
Yeah.
Do you just think he has the morality though? Does he really care about the living enough to deal with the day-to-day?
It would have to be like an offer on the table that's like Manny right now is just trying to. The story of Grim Fandango.
Right, it's like he can make penance for stuff. Yeah.
So, if you can offer him that, hey, every year you do trade negotiations, you're closer to the final resting place. Yeah, I think it'll be fine. If you're just like, hey, this is your job forever, then you might have a little problem with Manny.
Okay.
Who would make a better president?
Ooh. Of the United States? Or of your fan club?
We'll say United States.
Okay.
Detective Tequila from Stranglehold.
Or a stealth elite from Halo.
I'll let you go first.
Neither of them can be president of the United States, at least,
No.
because they were not born in America.
Let's say the rules for the Born of America.
Okay. Who's going to be better president of the world, of Earth?
Okay.
Earth president.
Well, then I'm going to go with the only one from Earth. We got a little Detective Tequila.
Yeah.
Not only can he slow down time to maybe help make decisions,
Yeah.
where he's just like, oh shit.
I think that's more of a perception, not an actual power.
No,
but yeah.
I think that's a power.
Okay.
You can kind of slow things down, think about him, make some decisions. I think he'd be a lot better at raising money as a president because he can dive over tables.
Okay.
People would pay to see that.
They would. He would be great at fundraisers.
And
Because he could just set up a table anywhere and he could just jump over it and people would start throwing dollar bills at him.
Back and forth, just over and under.
Yeah, but see, my thing about him is he's like quick to the trigger. He's always shooting first, asking questions later.
Oh yeah, stealth elites. I mean, they sneak up on
stealth
you.
elites, man, they're all about they don't want you to know they're there, depending on which version they
Do
are.
you want
and
a president of the world that doesn't want you to know that they're
no,
there?
but he can go around and see what's happening to whether it's a small community or to like other world leaders and see how they really feel about situations. He can observe situations in their natural environment without scaring them, and then because he probably looks down at the human race as being inferior, he can sort of look at them as like a pet and want to do well for their well-being and like, you know, be like, hey, this is really, maybe a human might make this not make this decision, but I will make this decision for them because, you know, I know what's really best for them because I have cosmic knowledge.
He's been trying to be part of plans to destroy Earth and the Halo rings. They
don't really care about Earth. They only cared about Earth when humans were getting in their way of getting what they wanted. They weren't like they didn't come to Earth to attack it. They came to Earth to get something that was buried underground in Earth that they needed.
Yeah,
it was a relic.
They're just after our oil.
Yes.
Nice try, stealth elites. Detective Tequila sees right through you.
Yep.
Shoots you dead.
But still, probably Detective Tequila.
Yeah. All right, your go.
Okay, who would you rather plan a heist with?
Okay.
Plan and perform a heist with.
The Watcher from Sims Medieval, which is God.
Yeah, or Fox McCloud from Star Fox.
Oh boy, God or Fox McCloud. Well, I'm gonna go The Watcher, Sims Medieval, because he can pull out camera views, kind of see everything. He could alert you when guards are around the corner. He could even make them have to use the bathroom or divert them in any such way by controlling them and their needs.
Here's my thing, though. I feel like he wouldn't be on board with this. Because one, it's, you know, he's benevolent ruler, so it's like, he's like, you know, morally this is wrong. I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to use my powers for evil like this.
Okay. Well, he's not Christian God. He's just...
No, but I'm just saying, like, if you have this huge, giant, immense power, you know, with great power comes great responsibility, so says everything ever.
Yep.
And so I feel like he would think it was beneath him.
Okay.
It'd just be too easy, too. That's not fun. If it's like a slam dunk heist. You want to have a bunch of characters, they all have their part, something at some point goes wrong, there's one crazy guy, like, there's always...
He wouldn't be good in Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
Like,
it would be boring.
They'd just be like, hey, we got the Watcher, and then everyone's just like, oh, heist is done then.
Right. I will say the pluses for Fox McCloud. One, he doesn't need to wear a mask or anything because they're going to assume he's wearing some sort of full bodysuit because he's a giant fox
who
character.
Robbed you?
Right.
It was a fox.
Plus, getaway car is already set because he's got a Starjet. You can just take that anywhere.
Yeah.
Also, if you wanted to use, he's already got like a crew built in. He's got, he's got the frog.
Yeah. Slippy Toad.
Right. You got the crew. Like, you don't need to do anything.
Falco.
You got Falco and you might the wolf. You got the wolf too. I forgot his name.
I don't.
He's the older guy. Gray hair because he's a wolf.
Yeah, sure.
Anyways, I think you could successfully pull off elements of the heist, maybe without even ever touching the ground.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on the heist. I think the Watcher, you'd get it done, but it'd be less exciting.
If it was like
Fox could just shoot the building to create a hole, and then jump in.
If you wanted to like rob a bank, I think you'd go with Fox McCloud. But if you had to pull off an impossible scenario that was like life or death in some sort of bigger scale, I would say the Watcher.
All right, I only have one more scenario for myself.
Okay.
And who is the greater supervillain?
Ooh, who would make a greater
who would make a greater supervillain? I have Tweedledum from Wolf Among Us, which is an actual villain.
Yes, in the Wolf Among Us he is. And Samus from Metroid.
Oh, boy. Well, we have a classic good versus evil here. Tweedle's evil in Wolf Among Us. Samus has always been good in Metroid. Right. But if I'm saying who would make a better supervillain, I'm going to have to go Samus. Yeah. Because of just sheer amount of ability
and power. That if she wanted to be evil, she could take over a lot more than just Tweedle or either one of them.
Yeah,
I'm sure they're a package deal. Yeah. You think that his brother would have some sort of second in command role. But they're all evil, like they're like skeezy back alley evil.
They're great.
They're not like they're not like take over the world.
Yeah, no, they're the guys that you hire
to get things done. Yeah,
not they're the villains.
Right. They're the henchmen, sort of. Yeah. The larger henchmen, but the henchmen. Agreed.
All
right. So the last one is: who would you rather build a complicated Lego set with?
Okay. I have Frank West, Dead Rising.
And I got a Hunter from Left 4 Dead.
Well.
Now, I'm going to change the scenario to who would you rather rescue a hostage? That's just one of my other things. I know. Sure. It's not like I changed the situation based on who there was.
No. I'm going to go Frank West for both of them.
Yeah.
Mainly.
This is not a good fight. I'm going to
sub out
Nathan Drake from Uncharted. That's a better fight, I think. A better scenario.
Now it's Nathan Drake for both of them.
Yeah.
Because, for one, if we're going save a hostage, Frank West, who is capable in Dead Rising.
That's pretty much his only job in the Dead Rising series is to go rescue other people.
But he's also just a cameraman who is forced in.
He's a photojournalist. Okay, don't like
photojournalist who is forced in an impossible situation and has to make the best of it. He's not a trained fighter, trained murderer, trained...
Is Nathan Drake a trained fighter and murderer?
After the first 10 minutes of Uncharted 1, I think he's a pretty big trained murderer.
I think, out of all the series, I think Frank West has killed more humans. I mean, there's zombified humans.
Sure.
Some of them are not.
Oh, that's true. He fights sociopaths and wins.
Yeah, and he also fights, SWAT team at some point.
Yep.
And like I said, he doesn't have to, but he chooses to rescue people throughout.
Okay.
Now, if it's rescue from zombies, sure, Frank West.
West.
But what if it's like a SWAT team rescue from, let's say it's like a Rainbow Six Siege, where there's one hostage in a room, the whole entire house is barricaded, and you got to find a way in. I would say Nathan Drake.
Yeah, it's situational.
Yeah,
I think Nathan Drake would be better against humans.
If stealth and planning and situation and maybe gadgets or gunplay is involved, I would say Nathan Drake.
Yeah,
if it's a straight
wearing funny hats and swinging wiffle ball bats was involved, Frank West.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
All right, I think that does it for that.
I have a whopping 4 cards left.
Oh, I thought we were going to be done because you're done with scenarios.
I don't have any scenarios. I'm just looking to see who was not used.
Don't say it. We got other games. Okay.
I got that guy.
This is a good one.
Yeah, that would have been a good one for the last question.
Yeah.
Who would have been a better hostage rescue?
Okay, let's move on to what everyone came to listen to.
Us just peeing on the microphone.
Yep, we've had enough beers that we're ready to just pee for a good 30 seconds or so.
Yep, everyone just listen.
Yep. All right, so guys, we are doing 3-word pitch, which if you're unfamiliar, we use a program that randomly generates 3 different words, and we try to use those words to create a video game pitch.
Yes. Because as fellow game designers, we have a lot of experience in the pitch field. So now we take our expertise, and now we try and help some struggling developers.
I mean, between the two of us, we've sold probably 2-3 dozen games to the industry over the years.
Ridiculous. Has anyone heard of a game called Mario?
You may be familiar with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was the guy behind
it was called Racist Plumber when we came up with it, but
yeah. They changed it.
They tweaked a couple things when marketing got a hold of it.
Yeah. So we help out. Maybe you listen to this and you're just like, shit, my game can be described in those 3 words. We just gave you a pitch for it.
Yep.
Feel free to use it.
Yeah,
you don't even need to credit
guys,
us.
feel free to build any of these games.
Yeah.
You know,
or if you already have them built, feel free to name them what we come up with.
Yeah, and give us a special credit in the credits. Just special thanks to. This was all possible by. This is a Funny More podcast.
This is all possible. All proceeds go to
This is Funny More podcast. All proceeds, no responsibility.
Yep.
All right.
Do you have the program up?
I do have a program up. Do you have it up, or am I going to give you all 3 words this time?
You're giving me all 3.
Okay, the first one is tip.
We're
just going to go with tip this time, guys. Ideology.
Okay.
And bottom.
Wow.
So 2 of those words are similar. One of these
and bottom. Perfect.
Yeah, one of these words does not belong.
I don't want to go there immediately. I feel like you need to escalate.
We got to ramp up to it. You got a little foreplay before we just ram the tip into the bottom.
But I feel like it's set up like a fighting game, right? You pick a character. That character is different gods, different beliefs. Maybe if you don't believe in a god, it's like. Marx from Marxism. You pick those people. And then, as opposed to a fighting game, it's a sex game.
Oh, I'm listening.
So you pick your characters. Maybe it's Shiva versus, the communist Mr. Marx. Can't think of it. Was it Samuel Marx?
Richard Marx?
Richard Marx? What was his first name? Somebody tweet me later. Which I don't have a personal Twitter, so Twitter, whatever. But then... the goal is to it's like you're fighting, but you're wearing down their resolve.
This seems like another game.
And then you get to have sex with them after.
Get to or force them to is what it sounds like.
No, it's a get.
Okay.
It's a get. And then they're just like, oh, you know what? Your ideology is better. Dominate.
All right. So basically, it's like a religion. You gotta convert them into your religion. You both start off as 2 different religions.
Yeah, just
you both have
heads.
to. So it's like a semi-dating sim / like dialogue choice-based game where you have to choose the right quotes to then trick that person into being your ideology just long enough to have sex with them. Like, they don't really need to convert or believe or anything.
No, you're not trying to.
Let's be clear what the actual goal of this game is.
Sex.
Right.
One night stands.
Right.
Impregnation.
Right.
Or, if it's 2 of the same gender, maybe you pick Jesus, and I pick Buddha.
And then we dress up as those characters and have sex with each other? Like, I don't understand what's the end game here?
I'm just saying, the goal isn't just impregnation.
Oh, okay.
It's just
that's just like a side benefit. I feel like if you're not careful, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can just think of the row of fighters now, and it'd just be great.
Yeah. When you said Shiva, I assumed you meant the 4-armed character from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. All right, next 3 words are army. We're totally at the mercy of the words that get chosen, so at least this is almost video game-like. Vein.
Okay.
And accent.
Okay. This has got a little bit different twist here.
Okay.
You are a foreigner. You have an accent.
You do have an accent.
Your goal is to infiltrate the army for your country to basically keep tabs, give a little spy.
Yeah,
it's an espionage spy game.
Right. You're a double agent.
You're a double agent. You
Right.
might be Sam Fisher.
Right.
Double agent. But what your goal is to essentially, blend in, but it involves a lot of steps. It's essentially part, it's a life sim. There's a lot of little details you have to do. You have to make sure you're available for roll call. You gotta make sure that you can take apart and put together a gun. Like, it's not just nothing action-packed. The Vane part comes in. The guy's obsessed with his looks. Obsessed with them. So you're in the mirror. You
Not how Vane was spelled, but that's fine. That works too.
Was it Vane as in
Like,
Army Vane?
Well,
Army Vane?
Yeah.
Is that a phrase?
Yes. It was exactly like Army Vane. We should just go with that.
Yeah. Well, okay. If it's Vane, let's take out the looks.
It can be whatever you want. It can be whatever
let's
you
use the
want.
spelling.
Yeah.
Your character.
Yeah.
The reason you're infiltrating this army, and whatever army it's going to be, Soviets, United States, they have a cure for a disease that infects your bloodstream. But they're unwilling to share it with the world. And so every time, it's kind of like a Requiem for a Dream, where they did drugs and the veins looked completely
Every
fucked
time
up.
you inject yourself, your veins get
I
nastier.
was gonna say it's based on real time.
Okay.
Like every 10 minutes a game time equals like 1 minute, and like you only have a set amount of time, and every time you can look down at your arm, that's how you gauge time, and it just starts like slowly looking more and more fucked up until you can get an antidote. So you have to kind of cover that up. That's part of the infiltration thing. You can't have anyone know that you have the disease.
Yeah.
So you're kind of hiding that, but then also like, you realize that at some point maybe you're going to lose the loss of your left arm.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I think this is a DLC add-on to one of our other games, Number Crunching Number Puncher.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
One of the numbers has turned evil, right?
Yeah.
And he started injecting this virus into other numbers to create this holy dark army, right?
Okay.
And so now you are you're immune to this disease because you're a letter, but you're an accent mark, like an umlaut or tilde or something. And you're supposed to infiltrate that. You're supposed to get in there, and because you're immune, because you're not a number, you can get in there and
just have sex with whatever you want.
with all of them. Just get in line in that glory hole and be part of that heavily implied full penny.
Yeah, I mean, if I remember the end of Number Crunching Number Crunchers,
yeah,
there's a lot of sex.
No, but let's say it's the whole injection thing. I think you're part of an army experiment gone wrong, and you've been injected with this super serum.
Okay.
And it's given you the ability to speak other languages. No, I don't know how the accent comes into it.
It's have to be a foreign.
But I just like the idea of like, I think you got to inject yourself with something to stay alive. But every time you do, you get closer to death also, because it makes the virus or whatever it is worse. So, you gotta decide, like, do I inject myself now? Do I wait until later? If I wait until later, I don't have enough power to, take down these bad guys. But
Okay.
I don't know. Kind of similar to an idea I had before, but whatever. Opportunity, possession, and smile.
Oh, easy. This one's an easy one.
All right.
I think we've all come up with the same idea.
Right.
It is a theft game. Playing a heist. You have to wait until the
correct opportunity.
The buzzwords. Yeah, you gotta wait. You gotta wait for the correct opportunity to steal someone's possessions. And when you're done, you get to smile.
The only thing that you're just a giant smiley face, and if you're not stealing, you're a sad face. So you constantly have to be stealing stuff to get your meter up high enough to turn that frown upside down and make it a smile.
Okay.
I'm just trying to build on your idea.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm thinking how that would work, because I'm thinking my heist game is it's more about the plotting,
right,
and taking that great opportunity and picking the right time to strike, getting in there and stealing. I imagine if you had to constantly keep stealing to make sure that frowny face turns upside down, are we talking it's a level-based system? Or are we talking that the longer that you're not stealing in game time, that's turning into frowny face? So you got to be fast.
Yeah, you got to be constantly I think it's just like an open world sort of situation where it's almost like you have these different scenarios. Like you got like an office building, and you just go around taking staplers and
Okay.
personal items. And then you can have this other level where it's like you're in a castle and you just go around and you just steal stuff.
Okay.
Because it feels so good. No, what if there's an evil corporation that was taking possession of people. It was possessing them, and the organization was the secret military installation of larger entities, also known as SMILE.
Okay.
And your job was what's opportunity? I don't know. You got to take the opportunity to become their CEO through a paper sim.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
You had it.
I had some steam going. Yeah. No, I don't know how opportunity works, and it's always that one word I get caught up on. I just think this evil company is possessing people. They're taking over.
Loser possession.
Yeah, they're taking over both smaller roles and either world leaders and stuff, and they're controlling them.
Got it.
From sort of larger world goal.
They try and take over you.
Yeah.
You get pulled up to the ship or the building or wherever they're going to do all this stuff. But it turns out that their little brain jambler,
right?
Which is of course a word, we all know it well, doesn't work on you for whatever reason, through genetics, heredity.
I mean, you'll find out. We don't want to spoil the story.
We don't want to spoil the story.
You find out though.
But so you kind of fake it.
Yeah.
So they're like, my brain.
I'm being mind controlled.
Yeah. And then so you are on or in this
or around
base, or around this base, and now you have the opportunity to try and reverse everything they've done, because they kind of think you're being mind controlled, and so you kind of have a little free roam around here.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, once again, kind of turns into a stealth game. You can't go where's the boss's room? Obviously
you can't
you're
just
not
walk.
being mind controlled in
Right.
there. But at the same time, you're just like, oh, look at me, I'm crazy.
And what if they, the whole tension is that you're trying to keep up the charade of being mind controlled.
Yeah.
So they're constantly throwing situations at you because they assumed you are hey, go move these crates or whatever, or kill this guy because he tried to escape, and then you have to choose which ones you do or
I'd
not.
move the crates over kill someone.
Well, I wasn't saying
options.
either or, but I'm saying you keep getting, in these
Yeah.
situations where it might be okay, I'll do this, or maybe instead of moving the crates, you use that opportunity of being alone to go sneak through the vents or something.
Yeah.
But I gotta kill. Do I kill my best friend, or do I take this moment to try to kill the guard and cover it up?
Yeah, I mean, then there's kind of a meter.
Yeah.
Where they're just how well they believe that you're being mind controlled.
Right.
Constantly fluctuating. It's like Hitman. It's like a Hitman meter.
Yes.
Sensor.
Let's just play Hitman.
Okay.
All right. Next game is Accused, Recipient, and Compelling.
It's a testimony game.
Of course.
You are accused of being the recipient of the worst blowjob in history.
Yeah, okay.
And you have to tell a compelling tale of how it wasn't you.
What was the first word?
Accused.
Okay.
Recipient. Compelling.
Okay.
You're definitely on trial.
Yeah, we can all agree that you're on trial here.
You have to prove your innocence by providing compelling whatever you want, data,
right,
evidence, whatever it is, of your innocence. How you go about getting that data and evidence.
I think it's there's sort of a time jump in this game.
Okay.
So you're there on the stand giving your testimony, and then it flashes back to the scene of the crime. So you can both use that as a choice whether or not you're going to tell the truth or tell a lie to sort of protect yourself, but also you see what's happening. Maybe you can play as other characters too. You can play as the detective that's investigating the story, so you get other aspects of it.
You play as a serial killer.
Okay.
Each level, they're taking you through a different murder that you're being accused of committing.
Okay.
You have to get off with a not guilty plea. That's the win.
Okay, I
You have
got
to
you.
get off. So then, like,
It goes back to those scenes. Like, you go back and you have to commit the murders in the gameplay, right?
Yeah.
And it's whether or not you make mistakes of whether or not you get caught at the end, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but at the same time, like, it's kind of, I agree with your time jump.
Yeah.
Where, like, while you're walking through the level committing this murder, there's also, like, a question that, like, it's, like, audible of what you're hearing of, like, and then what happened, and then you have to kind of, like,
flashback.
You're telling the story based on your movements, like you said. You're not trying to leave evidence.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like,
you have to know when to lie and when not to.
It's also like, so, like, if they're just like, and then what happened? You in that time can't be murdering someone because your guy is just saying what he's seeing at the time.
Yeah.
So you can't just be like, well, and then I picked up a sharp knife. You have to be
No.
and then I was preparing dinner, and so, like, the flashback is like your guy, whatever, telling his little lie,
and he's like preparing to eat someone or something.
Yeah, he's like sticking, like, somebody's body in the oven, but you have to be doing things that could kind of work
in both.
Right. They're just like, hey, I'm not actually murdering someone at this moment, but I'm also not telling a complete lie.
Right. But I think at some point, I just wanted there to be, I didn't want it to be like a straight up just lie in the testimony, but I wanted there to be elements where, like, you had to have paid attention to something that happened in the crime scene. It's kind of like almost like a quiz. The testimony. Okay. It's both.
So, like, maybe you play through a level and then you get these questions, and you're like,
okay,
what happened? What happened to the guy in white? And then you have to remember just seeing this guy in white, and you're just like, oh yeah, he was there. And
there's two sides to it. You play as the detective at one point, and you have to give your testimony also, and your job is to convict the serial killer.
Can I tell
you have to remember
what you just described?
Is there a game that already exists?
There's a game.
Murder Soul Suspects? No.
No, it's called Fahrenheit. It was David Cage's first game.
Okay.
You play at the start of the game. This isn't a spoiler because it's literally the first game. You were somebody who just murdered a guy in a public bathroom. You play as the killer.
Yeah. And
you have to start, like, you freak out because you just come to after you've killed somebody, and so you have a bunch of options. You have to, like, hide the murder weapon, you have to dispose of the body, all this stuff. So you play as all that stuff, and then you leave the restaurant, and hopefully if you get away with it, you leave the restaurant. Then the next day you play as the cops investigating that murder scene.
That sounds pretty great. I honestly had no idea about that.
The first, I will say, 1/3 of that game
is really good.
Is amazing, and then it falls off the rails, and it falls hard, and all of a sudden there's just, like, giant bugs. You're fighting the internet.
I think there should be some way to do it where it's like a multiplayer game. Like, you and I play, we both are one side of it, because it's hard to. I don't know how the game worked out, but I feel like it's hard to, once you're the killer, as the detective, you know exactly what to look for.
Yeah.
But if it was the other way around, where it's like, okay, I get to go in and do my thing in the murder scene, and then you come in as the detective, not knowing what happened, and you try to piece it together. I think that would be interesting if somehow you could do, like I said, one person, one human controlled person gets to control each character.
Yeah. That was our best idea.
Yeah. One, like, to win.
Okay.
In the past. Royal.
Flush. Got
it. And then term.
Term as in, like, TERM?
Yes. What's the other kind?
Like, I actually didn't hear. Maybe it was like turn, like TURN.
Yeah.
One royal term. That's the name of the game. You play as a king.
Yeah.
This is your term of power.
Yeah, and you won it by winning a joust.
Yeah.
Yeah. Done.
Done. Yeah, next game.
Those weren't bad words, but exit.
We can work with those.
No, we sure can. Exit. Entrance. That's interesting.
Okay.
And screaming.
It's a horror game.
Of course.
You play. I feel like we use this. That's the problem.
We use too many elements a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to just say right now, because exit and entrance happen in those order, I'm going to say the entire game takes place in reverse time.
Oh, you're going Memento.
No. Memento took place forward in segments, and those segments were then reordered. I'm saying the game literally takes place in reverse motion.
Okay. I'm willing for you to continue.
Yeah. I That's all I'm saying is using the entrance and the exit. So your goal is to get from the end point back to where you started, and crazy things are going to happen along the way. Like you might start off with, I don't know, whatever type of game it is. It's like an entire destroyed city or something, and then when you get to the end of the level, which is the beginning in time,
it's a beautiful
city. Normal city. So those events still happen, but they happen in reverse order.
I was thinking kind of same lines, but I was thinking more of like a horror movie.
Well, no, I think horror would be good too with the screaming. Like I think you end up with like a bloody, awful, dead body dismemberment things, and then you see how that happens.
Yeah, that's how it starts.
That's how it starts.
It's just like a cabin, and it's just there's fucking bodies everywhere.
Right.
And then as you're slowly going back, you see how all of those people died, and then big twist at the end, you realize that you're the killer.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean,
ruined it, but yeah.
I don't know how else you could get back to the entrance and still be alive, unless you're just watching the murderer kill a bunch of your friends.
Well, no, because if you've started the game, you've already survived through the entire experience.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you know there's a bunch of bodies and it's a horror game, and you're watching them die, either...
No, I still think you could. I still think you could use the mystery formula of like unraveling clues and doing things, but having it happen in reverse time. Like you could still have those reveals happen. They would just happen in a different way.
Okay. I mean, I'm interested to see how your game turns out.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna be working on this for a while, guys.
Yeah. One more?
Yeah. We'll do. One, maybe two more. All right. Binding, microcomputer, and Miss, MISS. So you're Miss Microcomputer USA.
Yeah. It's like Miss Pac-Man.
Right. And you're into bondage. You're into BDSM, right?
Who isn't these days?
Right. And that's where the binding comes in.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just get to have fun with it. It's just a pleasure sim. Because you're tied up this whole time, you just get to sit back and enjoy the ride. So
it's an Oculus game.
Oh yes, it is.
Yeah, it's a first-person Oculus.
Yep.
But it's weird because it's an Oculus game that before they put the headset on you, they tie your hands.
Yeah. No. Yeah. There's real elements in playing this. Mm. Right, and you have to buy the special printer to print out those restraints.
And then, then it's just a cash cow.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I was gonna say, you're a prisoner. That's your binding part. Uh-huh. You start off as a prisoner. The bad guy turns out to just be a big microcomputer. Or as some would say, a big microcomputer might be just a regular computer.
A macro microcomputer?
A macro microcomputer.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to get from point A to B. So,
no.
A prisoner who is fighting the robotic revolution.
Right.
However, all of the guns you use misfire.
Because they don't have that microchip inside of it?
Because they don't have that microchip. The computer removed.
There's been a nuclear war, and the EMP from those blasts have destroyed all electronics. So you're on a quest to get just one microcomputer would be enough to fuel this revolution.
Ooh, or this takes place in the future, obviously, because robots. But so we've gone to technology. The guns.
What if it took place in the past and there was robots? No, I'm kidding.
All the guns currently have these microchips, so the EMP fries everything.
Yeah.
You are on the search for old
Chicago
weapons. You're looking for you want a gun that doesn't fire with a microcomputer.
Yeah. You're fighting a highly advanced technological enemy. And any of those new weapons, you can't use plasma guns or laser shooters or anything. All that stuff, they can disable those instantly.
Yeah, you need to find an old bayonet.
You gotta go. So it kind of turns into like a steampunk game.
Yeah,
because you gotta use old technology, but then try to find a way to make new weapons to defeat the enemies.
Yeah, it's a crafting game.
Right, it's a crafting steampunk game where you fight aliens because those are all the elements that people enjoy.
Maybe the microcomputer is your buddy, and you're fighting maybe aliens. You can go aliens.
Maybe you have a microchip in your head, a microcomputer in your head.
And it's kind of like it's like the Lego Movie where you can kind of see things. You can see like you're the master builder.
Right.
You just see pieces, and you're like, oh, I can take all these and I can build this gun.
And you have to find creative ways to kill the enemies from afar. Basically, you have to set up situations.
Yeah, you don't stand a chance
because if you get close and they kill that microcomputer in your brain, you could die or at least lose those abilities.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, that's obviously makes sense. That tracks. All right, we'll do one more.
Okay.
We got maize, also known as corn.
Is it the corn spelling? M-A-I-Z-E?
No.
It's maize as in regular? Okay.
I was deciding whether or not.
To lie to
I was
me?
like, why would... Yeah, I was like, I don't think a word generator is going to have the other word maize. Sighting.
Okay.
Flush. Obviously, it's a bathroom sim. No, it's... You get with the sighting.
I like your bathroom sim.
Okay.
It's a puzzle game. We haven't done a puzzle game this time. Normally we do a lot of them. Your guy has to take the worst pee or poop, choose your poison.
No, I'm sorry to jump in real quick though.
Sure.
I assumed that you were playing as the poop, and once you get flushed,
you're in the body?
You're down there in the maze of pipes that is the plumbing system, and it's your goal is to get to the open ocean.
My thing was you were an office worker,
okay,
who all of a sudden in his row of cubicles is just like, uh-oh, gotta use the bathroom, and then it kind of goes top, like, classic maze viewpoint.
Yeah.
And you have to make a maze through essentially the office floor, plus there's, other people walking around and you have a time limit.
There's constantly things getting in your way to
constantly
slow you down.
Slowing you down. There's people like, hey, how are those TPS reports?
Right. Is it first person or third person?
No, it's
top down.
It's omnipresent. So it's you control, your arrow keys or your.
I think it'd be interesting if it was first person, where like people would just step into your field of view and like block the way you were going or something.
It could be mist like maze, where you're just like, I don't know where I'm fucking going. You have to find the bathroom, but there's just a constant ticking.
Right, like it's Tina's birthday. They make you step in to sing happy birthday to her.
Yeah,
otherwise
and
that'd
you're
be
just like,
rude.
I gotta pee, and I only have like a minute left.
Right. There's that video of the waterfall the guy next to you keeps watching.
What was the second word?
Sighting.
There's a UFO sighting.
Well, that's why I thought maze and sighting can go together with like crop circles and UFO sightings.
There could be different levels. You could have to pee in a crop circle.
That's true. Sometimes you just don't want to go anywhere.
You don't want to go anywhere because there's a bunch of kids around. You don't want to just
that are just constantly like really close to you, like hanging on you and stuff.
So you have to find the tall grass.
Yeah.
Which is really hard, apparently.
Yeah.
I feel like every time we do 3-word pitch, there's a bathroom game probably in there.
There's starting to be more than one pattern developing.
And always sex.
Yeah.
But that's an obvious one. I think that's... And then I think we lean very heavily on stealth games.
Yep.
It's always find your way, don't get spotted.
Yeah.
Poop without children watching you.
It always comes to that. It's always about people watching us go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
that's what it always comes back
I think
to.
We have a real fear about that.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do one more. Guarding, waste. I'm winking at you.
Yeah, I saw it.
And caution. Ooh, we've gotten caution before. You weren't here for that. That's how the vampire janitor came up, I believe.
Can we work it back into the vampire?
Yeah.
I was going to say vampire dinosaur, which would be a dangerous combo.
I'm listening. I'm ready to throw out these 3 words and just go for it.
We have vampire dinosaur and caution.
Right. So it turns out dinosaurs have been secretly living for millions of years because some of them got turned into vampires a long time ago, right?
Yes.
So you're part of this underground dinosaur vampire coven.
Oh, you are a vampire dinosaur.
You are one, yes. Okay. And you have to murder human beings. Like you're like a velociraptor type size dinosaur, but you have to go out at night and murder enough human beings to make a skin suit so you look like a human, so you can go to your day job.
Like Octodad.
It's kind of like Octodad. You're right. Yeah.
No one suspects a thing.
No one's gonna suspect a thing, but it's got this like really dark underpin tones to it. Well, like I said, at night you have to go murder innocent people and sew their bodies together.
I love it.
And then at the during the day you go to your just normal Kinko's job.
During the day it plays
and you have
like
to
Octodad.
Yeah.
It's a hilarious romp. Like there's wacky music. It's very bright and colorful.
Right.
At nighttime, it's like the game Hatred. It's black and white.
Yeah,
it's
like Hatred beats Condemned, I think.
Yeah.
It's just like underground dark sewers. You're constantly dealing with like methed up homeless people.
It's the worst of the worst.
Yeah,
like,
you're beating people to death with
the
pipes.
Visuals of you eating someone to be able to then tear off their skin.
And
it's
there's just
like, it's tough to watch.
And there's like this moment, there's like this one level where you just sit and look in a mirror and contemplate all the things you've done so far in the game.
Well, that's when you're producing your waste.
That's true. Gotta be careful though.
Yeah, careful. Caution.
Yeah.
Caution, dinosaur pooping.
What was the first word?
Guarding.
Thanks, robot intern.
Yeah.
What is your other vampire dinosaur pitch? Do you have any more?
No, I think that was a pretty good one.
Okay.
I like the real juxtaposition of Octodad, like happy-go-lucky,
right,
and then just brutal murder.
Do you
sim.
think you have like this secret family? Like, do you think you like married a single mother and like you have a couple of kids?
No. You married another dinosaur vampire.
Oh, okay.
I
just wondered if like you had to put up the charade too of
only at work.
Okay.
Only at work is your charade, and maybe like walking home. But then, like, once you're inside your house, it's kind of like your safe zone.
Yeah.
Where it's another vampire dinosaur, the shades are always drawn.
Yeah.
You know, they also have to go out. You have to kill enough to provide skin suits for essentially your whole family. Because they're all dinosaurs.
Okay.
So, like, every in-between level is that murder thing.
Yeah.
There's a number of people you need to bring back dead.
I was going to say, like, it would be interesting if... Like, I really like the way that gameplay works, but, like, if you were a human married to a dinosaur vampire, and so you had to go kill for her. Like
she can't go out. She
can't go out. She can't get those meat suits, right? Because it's too obvious. She's clearly a dinosaur.
Everyone knows it.
Right? And
everyone suspects something.
Like, you have to take on this dark burden of reluctantly
just so you can
murdering
have sex
people.
With a dinosaur velociraptor.
Well, I mean, you married her. You had vows that you did. So,
of course.
In sickness and in health, she originally tricked you because she was wearing the meat suit when you got married. You guys met drunk in Vegas.
Yeah.
Little did you know she was
just
gonna kill you, but instead you guys fell in love. And so now, like, you don't like her going out because you got to be careful because they might be able to get her. They might be able, like, you don't want her to take that risk.
She's got to be cautious.
Or throw in another. You play as her. You do all those things where you go out and kill people and you do all that stuff. The job of the husband is to get rid of the waste.
Okay.
So you have to find creative ways to get rid of, random limbs or organs or whatever.
It's a mobile game.
So it's like whether you're going to like hide it in your neighbor's plants or something, or like...
It's perfect. It's a mobile game that's got time elements.
How about
you can dissolve them in the bathtub, right, with your acid.
And like every 20 minutes you come back and touch
but that's the thing. It's like 25 minutes. Here's the thing. The cops are always coming to your house at certain intervals. And it tells you at the top of the screen. Cops are going to be there in 10 minutes.
Like you have a buddy in the forest that tips you off.
Yeah. So you have 10 minutes. You have so many bodies to dispose of.
Right.
You have to figure out how to get rid of them. But the thing is, in this mobile app, you can't put all 10 bodies in the acid bath because it takes 20 minutes to dissolve a body.
Right.
So you kind of have to plan your strategy. You're like, okay, I'll put one in there now, so then maybe I can put one in later. But it's just like, okay, now I got to put one in the planter.
Yeah.
I got to figure this out. And everyone...
You like hide one on the ceiling fan or something.
Everyone takes a certain amount of time before it's, either if it's on the ceiling fan, it either falls off. In the beginning levels, the cops aren't very observant.
No.
So you could just put one in a closet. Cops not going to check it. When your wife starts murdering just like people from the... Now we got a problem on our hands.
Yeah, and I think this is like a mobile companion app. This is not just the straight game. This is a standalone game that has ties into the other game.
The straight game is you are the dinosaur.
Yeah.
The mobile game is you're the
right,
spouse.
and I think you can. There's sort of this sort of upgrade system too, where it's like the more people you kill, if you successfully dispose of a body, then you get whatever money they had on them or whatever you.
Yeah.
So maybe you can upgrade. Maybe I can get better chemicals that dissolve faster.
Yeah. Maybe you get a second bathtub.
Right.
You always wanted that bathroom in the basement.
Right.
Boom,
and now it's all like
stainless
stainless steel and creepy and stuff.
And there's always just that floor drain.
Right, yeah.
Which
There's the like hanging, like hold shower sort of thing, yeah. To hose down like you're cleaning dishes.
People don't ask you about that.
No.
It's like, oh, you put a bathroom in the basement.
Yeah, we're training our kids to be dishwashers at an Arby's, so, yeah.
I go for an Arby's.
Yeah, because they have dishes, right?
Yeah, they got a couple.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, the blades.
That's true. All right, guys. I think we did it. I'm not going to say that was better than our previous attempts at three-word pitch, because I think it had been ramping up pretty well. But there's some good ones in there. There's some decent ones.
I mean, I will say the problem with three-word pitch, I enjoy three-word pitch, is we fall back on a lot of
we're kind of hitting the same cliches.
If you get good words, but we're, let's say, a couple beers in, might not also get good three-word pitches.
Theoretically.
Yeah. So, it's a game of chance.
Yeah.
That the listener is playing by allowing us to have a podcast, I guess.
But, as always, if you would like to make this podcast any better, you can send in back covers for us to do. If you got any trivia, we'll always go back to that. Also,
situations for Porcupine.
Situations or characters for Porcupine's Revenge / Pixel Fight / Who's Better At / Who Would You Rather / Situations.
Yep.
Or 3 random words for us to do for three-word pitch. We would promise to not look at them before the episode starts.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. You can tweet us that at NotFunPodcast. You can email us at NotFunPodcast
at
gmail.com. Also, there's a website with similar things with .com at the end.
Yep. You could even put that in a YouTube comment.
Sure can.
On our YouTube page.
Because we do YouTube episodes for everyone.
And the very few times we Twitch, you could join then and then just tell us then. Yep. There's a lot of avenues.
Right.
You can also email Chris directly at bestfriendsforlife at AOLkeyword.com.
The L in life is a number 1.
Yep.
Yep.
NWO. Too sweet.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Hopefully not to make the internet a promise we can't keep, but we may have a guest next episode.
May. If not, then we'll be back to normal.
Yep.
And then probably the episode after that will be our game review.
Our game of the month of The Escapist and or Katamari Damacy, right?
So from this point, we will say 2 weeks. That can change. We reserve the right to change it if we get a guest or if we have a topic that comes up that we feel is more
frankly
important.
just don't feel like it.
Don't feel like it.
Yeah.
But roughly 2 weeks from this point, Game of the Months are out. Have those games played, or we will talk about them anyway. Doesn't care.
We're not going to wait for you anymore, guys. Come on.
See you next time.
Suckers!
No, Phil, don't touch me there. Touch me. Here.